أنا اسمي رغيد من العراق، لاجئ في أمريكا. جيت إلى أمريكا مع زوجتي وأطفالي عائلتي، وإلي حوالي أكثر من سنتين وشوية في أمريكا. تركت العراق في أواخر عام 2004. Everything happened after the occupation of the US troops in 2003 was kind of surprising. We personally, me and my family or friends, no one was expecting things will go this much bad and in this direction. So whenever something happened, we still hope and think, no, it's just temporary, it's going to be good, going to be fine. We'll just wait, things will get better. But it's always new things coming up, and it's always worse and surprising everyone. I received death threats on my cell phone, my personal phone, and that was on October 2004. And because of that threat, I couldn't leave my home for like 10 days. I didn't even go to work. My family didn't even accept me to go outside anywhere. I didn't leave because there is no electricity or there is no some entertainment or something. No, I left just because I received even as security and safety. I mean, think about it. It's 2003. The tanks are moving on back that. I wasn't never afraid from a bomb or a blast car or something because I'm a believer, and I believe if I have to die, I'm going to die. That's it. Then I understand and recognize it's kind of the general concept, so it doesn't really scares me. But when it comes to calling you by name, it's like the death is calling you. So this time I'm coming to pick you. It's not because you are nearby a blast car and you will die. No, it's I'm going and chasing you to get you. And that was no, that was different. And that's when I left. I left with a small bag, thought that it will take a couple of weeks and I come back. And even my family was still there, my wife and children, they were waiting in Baghdad. And no one really expected it will take this long. But I've never came back. When I went to the UNHCR office, they were asking some questions and they were just asking main questions. Do you mind to go to the United States? I told them, no, I don't. Because some people, they will say no. Yes, I do, so they will not consider them here. In our case, actually, I think that was the only choice available because it's either United States or some countries in Europe. And the countries in Europe, they are accepting very, very minimum number of people. They have very high criteria to accept those people. So my only choice was the United States, which I accepted. I was afraid. I was afraid to death. While I'm taking a wife and 3 children to some place that I have no idea how things are working there. I'm taking my family from a planet to another planet. It wasn't from country to another country. It was a planet to different planet. And when we came here, I saw many things. It's totally different. Absolutely, it's a totally different planet. We arrived on January 21st. Obama immigration was on January 20. So it was officially his first day in the office. And we arrived to Washington, D.C. And it was interesting when we drove from the airport. You still see some signs of events from the day before. You cannot say that I live in DC and I don't care about politics. I don't know what's going on outside my city. No, you can't. You just can't. It's the capital. It's the president, White House, the House, the Congress. Everything is there. We know politicians, they lie all around the world without any exception. But there is this political lies, which means it's something I have to do for the sake of my country, for the sake of the meeting, for the sake of our protocols, I have to do it. But there are lies, really dirty and bad lies, that you shouldn't do it. You don't have to do that. You shouldn't do that. So all the history about the war, how it started, how it was justified, and the reasons the Bush administration they were talking about, and why they want to how they call it to liberate Iraq. Yeah, I like that. Among all the hundreds of dictatorships around the world, they picked this one. Yeah, he was a dictator. He was a very bad guy, I swear. But look at the map. There are other dozens around, not even far away. So why among all those people you are thinking about the Iraqis? If you've never ever drive a car before, even a bike, you've never drive any, nothing at all, and I put you in a car, I turn it on, I lock the doors, and I told go. You have to drive. You will drive. It will move. It's moving. Physically, the car is moving. But do you have an idea how many accidents you're going to make? That's the democracy of Iraq. Iraq never experienced democracy for decades, for generations. We were under the rule of one person for almost 3 decades. I was raised in that country where I haven't ever known another president. I haven't even thought it's possible to have another president. I didn't think this is something can happen because that's how I grew up. He's there. Since I was in the elementary school, mid school, high school, university, graduated, I was married, I had children, and they are seeing the same picture. No choice, again. And then someone will come and just drop this car and tell you, go and drive. It's your democracy. I will crash it. That's the democracy in Iraq. It's crashed. And it will keep crashing, crashing, and crashing until the people learn how to drive. And God only knows how long that will take. We lost tens of thousands of people's lives and properties and injuries and all this loses. And we are still trying even to identify someone to teach us how to drive a car. Not even to drive, just tell us how to do it. What I learned is you can't give democracy on tanks. You can't bring democracy on tanks, definitely. If you think about it, in 2003, 2004, 2005, and what the people at that time thought about, what the message was getting to them, what the media was showing to them, how they were looking to Iraq, how they were looking to what's going on around them and their country and their safety and their interests, everything about it. But by years, some stories came up, some documents, some evidence, or they couldn't find evidence, missing evidence. And the people started looking at, okay, hold a second. You said X, it's Y. So they recognize that it was a little bit late, especially for us. That was the wake of the people. What happened is because people, they understand. They started to understand. And they started to think, okay, we want our safety. We, of course, have the priority for our country, but definitely there is another way to do that. You should educate them. Don't give them. You cannot give them democracy. Educate them about it. Help them to learn what is it. And that really needs time. Starting from the kids at the school. The people will have the motivation because it's me. I'm doing this. It's not someone else enforcing me for it. And what's happening now in Libya, or in general what's happening in the Arab countries, of course it's totally different. It's totally different than the lesson was going to happen. We will bring them democracy. It's not the same, can be applied everywhere. And again, I'm afraid they will fall under the same mistake, because again, those people, they've never drove a car. The only difference is, in our case, a troop brought this car and put us there and locked the door and say, go ahead. In their case, they actually opened the door, pull out the driver, throw him away, and take the car. They were happy. We did it. Yes, great. It's a great job. I appreciate it. I'm so happy for that. I'm so happy to see that. But do you know how to drive? And whether it's cultural, I don't think even it's cultural, because if you go to United States, UK, France, pick any country in Africa, in Asia, in the Arab world, it's all the same. It has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with culture. It's kind of shared and common principles. Here in the United States, if there was any power, country with enough power coming to attack one of the states for any reason, under any justification, even if that state administration or the administration of the country, they made something wrong, they made something very bad, they had all the reason, then another country will come to attack, to help those people. Do you think the American will stay home? No. The French? No. So it's the same in the Arab world. They don't want someone outside, from outside, to come and occupy the place and saying, I'm helping you.
ردي 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 خايبة ردي ردي يا ضعن ردي يا ضعن شت عن هلا.
I'm missing my family, and I hope they can have such life, quiet, with electricity, without generators, safety, good schools. But unfortunately, I know they don't have all these things. But they're still there back home, which kind of they're, when you get old in a place, you really don't want to leave that place, even if it's unsafe. You think at some point that's it. It's my home. Like my father, that's how he thinks. I believe it's my home. I'm not leaving this house. أكثر شيء هم أهلي، أقاربي، البيت، وكل الذكريات الحلوة يعني اللي كانت هناك، حتى الناس اللي كنت أشتغل معهم، شغلي، كل الذكريات الحلوة. أشتاق لأبسط الأشياء، المحل الصغير اللي كنت أشتري منه المواد الغذائية، إلى أفران الخبز، إلى محل الآيس كريم، كل شيء.
ردي مليت الصبر، ردي مليت الصبر، ومقاطر الدمعة على خدي، يا الهويتي يا الهويتي يا الهويتي بلا وجاد النوب من تهوين وجدي خلي قدامك كلام الناس خلي قدامك كلام الناس وبمشيك تهدي نحي عني محبتك